Hello everyone, and welcome to The Killer Cast, where every so often I'll be welcoming on a guest and we'll be chatting about zombies, horror, and any variety of other topics. Before we jump into things, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the channel. It means the world to me, and for those of you that are new, please consider subscribing. It's free and helps keep the channel up and running so I can continue bringing you fresh cuts of pop culture served nice and bloody. Thank you. Now, let's start carving our way through today's topic. Alright everybody, here's my good friend, Clam Rally.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's post the holidays, so some of that stress that comes along with that is gonna, start going away, so that's nice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know I had a pretty decent holiday season this time around.
Good, that's what I like to hear. I know it like a lot of the magic in Christmas feels like it goes away when you become an adult, and sometimes it just gets to be a little stressful, but if they can be good, then that's what matters, right?
Right. No, I think really, before we get into it, I do think it's like, as I'm kind of getting older, like the more I kind of have the responsibility on myself to bring the Christmas magic, as opposed to it just kind of happening. I don't know if you kind of feel me. Like, I gotta like make it happen. Same with like Halloween, I feel like sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you gotta go out of your way to make sure you're getting gifts that'll make other people feel that magic, or even just between like you and your loved ones putting in a little bit more of an effort in a way than you would like, any typical week or month or
it's
whatever.
Kind of like decorations. Yeah.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like stuff like that.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
too, like just making it look like Christmas and all.
Yeah, I do not decorate my apartment for Christmas.
No, that's okay. We just put up a tree, but for some reason I'm starting to make it feel like that. But yeah, no, I totally get that though.
Yeah, we actually went to put up a tree. We have it's unfortunate, but with the apartment we can't fit a real tree in here, so we have one of those fake trees. But I could not find.
We have a fake small tree. Yeah, we have a fake small tree here, so I understand that. I
could not find it in the storage unit this year, so no tree. But it is okay because we decorated for Halloween and left some of those decorations up, so it kind of just makes up for it,
Yeah, but you know what? What present we did get? Citadelle. Yay!
Yeah,
that was an insane segue.
Yeah, that's true. Well, of Citadelle,
I love it.
Yeah,
just straight up, I love the map.
Okay. So even what are we, a month out now? Or
I guess so.
Half a month, maybe?
Is that right?
2 weeks, 3 weeks? I can't even.
Oh no! It was like it was probably about a couple of weeks and some change, because it was like I think it came out on the 11th, right?
Yes, that is right. It did come out on the 11th. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, a couple weeks and some change. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it's almost been a month. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3 weeks, excuse me, sorry. Okay, so
how do you feel now that we're almost a month out? How do you feel now about the map versus the excitement of when it first dropped? Do you feel anything different?
I think, to be honest, like, I really didn't know what to expect from Citadelle, but like, I just know, like, I just was excited. And I think it helped me reminding myself, like, every day before it came out that, like, it's not going to be like Der Eisendrache just because it has a castle. So don't expect it to be Der Eisendrache because it has a castle. And I think that definitely helped me, because I feel like a lot of people were saying, obviously, castle, it equals DE.
Yeah,
but a lot of people,
like Milo was saying that.
Right. And but the cool thing is like, even though people were saying it was going to be like Der Eisendrache, or like they were kind of thinking it was going to be like Der Eisendrache, people weren't disappointed when it wasn't, because the map's still good. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like it's definitely its own thing for sure. It has its own vibe, its own atmosphere, different like color palette, different enemies, obviously. But I think it has enough to set itself apart. And I think what it does do, I think it's awesome. I think it's probably between that, I'm really having a hard time between that and Terminus. Which one is my favorite of the three? But I'm thinking Citadelle might have it, at least for now. But I'll finish my opinion when the rest of the season comes out. But what are you thinking?
Honest thoughts. It might surprise you a bit, but I think we're actually on
You hate it!
to the spectrum.
You hate it!
So, I don't hate Citadelle.
I'm just kidding.
But when it came out, I was really like hyped for it, really stoked, especially with, you know, the high of Black Ops 6 coming out and it being so so much fun and successful. But I find myself, now that it's been out and, you know, we've completed the Easter egg and I've run the map quite a couple times, to me,
oh no,
Easter egg aside, it's boring.
No.
Yeah,
no. Oh, that's okay. No, that's totally fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah, so I love.
Why do you? Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. Finish,
you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say what about it makes it boring compared to like Terminus or like Liberty Falls?
Honestly, for me, it's I think it's a mix of a couple things. So the map layout, I think it's a little underwhelming for what is presented to us. I think if they would have opened up the castle just a little bit more, especially on the top side.
Oh, that is honestly a good point. I do wish that we had like some like bird's eye view from the castle. That would have been super cool. Like from the top.
Right. And in my mind,
I can see that.
When they shared those pictures, I was like, oh, we're going to get to run around in the towers, you know, we're going to get to run around in the upper levels of the castle more. And instead, what they had us do is go down. You know, we go into the belly of the castle. And even then, it's just like you go down to the dungeon and then you go to the lower dungeon where you find Pac. I don't know. I feel like it would have been more fun just to me for the map to open up at the castle more. I know, I'm sure they were trying to give that effect with you start in, you know, the town square and move upward.
In the courtyard at the bottom, yeah.
But I think the biggest, like, lure to people was the castle, especially because those were the first images shown. And I think that it would have been, to me, more exciting to be able to go through more of the castle. And not to say that what they gave us is bad. I just had a different expectation in my mind, and I know not everyone's gonna have that same expectation.
Dude, that's totally fine.
But just totally because fine. I did, I feel a little let down in that regard. I'm very happy that they brought back Vulture's Aid. But another thing that also kind of throws me off of the map is, especially in the village, I hate the color palette. I hate the oranges and the browns.
Like the orange, like tan, brownish sort of thing. Like, I can kind of see that, and I think I was kind of feeling that. I don't want to say it's exactly like Liberty Falls, but it's like a kind of a darker Liberty Falls. I honestly think Liberty Falls could probably benefit for having a color palette like Citadelle, like the little darker, but like we're talking about Citadelle. But basically, I think I kind of feel that to a degree. I feel like we should have gotten a few more, and it's just personal me. I think a few more like reds in like the sky would be super cool.
Yeah, I also feel like some of the ground should be betterly colored. Like there's a couple areas where I believe you can see grass, but instead of seeing green grass, you just see fucking like yellow and brown grass.
Right.
And I get, you know, dead area, but this is supposed to be in France, right? And France is beautiful, and even from like the videos and clips of Milo going to the castle that's based off of, it was more colorful than what they presented to us in game. And you find the color in, you know, the swords and the perk machines and the fire inside the castle, but I don't know, to me it just wasn't as colorful as I was hoping. And I guess I should have guessed that too based on the images they shared, because they were dusty and dirty looking.
Right.
But I don't know. Also, I love the Easter egg quest, but I know this is a common thought amongst the fans, but the swords were very underwhelming too. And the fact that the only other wonder weapon you could get in the map is the ray gun. Which I know makes sense because you can't have the jet gun in there, because it's lore-wise it makes sense to
lore. Right.
Not Liberty Falls. And same thing with the beam smasher, right? You lore-wise you shouldn't have that there. But I feel like this would have been a good time to consider maybe adding something smaller, like maybe one of the past like smaller wonder weapons, as just like a little bit of variety in the box than, you know, just the swords, because, or just maybe having the swords be stronger or giving them a second upgrade quest.
I think that would have been interesting. Like kind of how the staves worked, where like you had to do the quest to build them, and like to upgrade them, it just did crazy. Like it just made them a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
And I the swords, I think I kind of agree just a little bit. Where like I think they could probably tweak them just a tiny bit. I know the swords do like infinite damage, I'm pretty sure, but I it feels weird when you have a sword and like you can only slash through one zombie at a time. Like I know like balance wise it might not be the best for them itself, but like I just know it feels a little odd when I swing this big fucking sword and it just kills one zombie at a time. Like it just feels a little off. So I can kind of see what you mean by that. Yeah. I like the abilities that they have. But I can kind of see where they're maybe just a tad underwhelming, but they are badass. So to me, I think that makes up for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they did anything at all. You know, I mean, especially considering the bullshit that Zombies has been dealing with the last handful of years. It is amazing that they did something like this.
Right.
But I just think either buffing the swords a little bit, or maybe honestly, I think it would have been cool if maybe there was a little bit more to the sword play than just slashing. Like they easily could have adopted some kind of mechanic from like, have you ever played Dying Light?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
When you get a sword in that game, you can slash, you can parry, but you can also do like a little tornado move where you slash in a circle and it kills multiple infected. So like maybe a mechanic, like even though yes you can slash and you can parry, maybe give me a power move, you know, where like if you hold down the trigger and then let go, you'll have a more powerful move that could cut through 5 or 6 zombies.
Right.
You know, a little bit more variety to the sword play. Because, you know, with the staves, you shoot, you just shoot the elemental power out, right? With the bows, same thing. You're shooting the powers.
There, I know. I just watched was CJ Santa's video, and I didn't even realize this until like I just seen him do it. But he was saying how when you have like the full charge, and I guess this might be kind of what you mean, but like it's not another ability. It kind of just is there. But like if I'm not sure if this only happens with the fire sword, but I think actually this might happen with all of them. When you like hit the enemies, I don't know if about killing, but hitting, you proc the elemental mod that's attached to it.
With the fire?
Yeah, like with the fire and the void and with all of them, I'm pretty sure they just proc themselves. Like it'll proc dead wire with the lightning, healing rift or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And then it'll proc the shadow rift with the void one, and it'll proc napalm burst with the fire one. If you keep it charged, like you can't you can't use the charge. You have to keep it there. So I think that's something that's also really cool that I didn't even realize. I didn't catch on that.
Yeah.
But I do kind of I can kind of see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the map, and that's not to say that it's a bad map. I just think for me, whenever I hop on just to casually play, I'm not picking Citadelle. I'm picking Terminus or Liberty Falls for my casual gameplay. Like if I'm hopping on to bust out like camos or something,
stuff, yeah,
I'm picking one of those two maps. I'm not picking Citadelle unless my friends are like, let's do the Easter egg. Let's run the Easter egg.
No, I can see that, and I think for at least when it comes to Terminus and Citadelle, they're pretty much neck and neck for which ones I want to be playing mostly.
Okay.
Because I just for some reason I don't know what it is about Terminus, but like I just want to keep playing that map. Not to say that I dislike Citadelle, of course, but I think something about the map, not that I think it's better, but I don't know. I think it might have to do with like the atmosphere too. I really like how that map looks and how it flows. I think the flow of the map is really nice. Like going around in circles, going down and then going back up. It like flows really nicely. And I think I understand what you mean where like with Citadelle, like it's definitely a little more cramped, which makes it a little more difficult. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah. I just think
But I think no, go ahead. Yeah, I'm pretty much that's what I meant. That's all I was saying.
If there was maybe like the shape of it, I have it pictured in my head, right? It's more so like hard to explain. It almost looks like a key, right? Where the bottom is a little bit more square and big, and it's skinnier towards the top. I feel like
Oh, I can see that.
I feel like if maybe they just added a route on each side that makes it, even if they keep it tight quartered, if it made it easier of a straight shot to go back to spawn.
You're talking other than like the teleporters
Yeah,
and whatnot?
I know they got the teleporter thing,
Right.
but I mean like one that you can run, because
Okay.
I don't always like when I play the game, I don't always just like to use the teleporter, you know, like even though it is the quickest way there, sometimes I just like to run because yeah, it's I don't know, but despite my personal feelings of the map, like in terms of those, I think it's a wonderful addition to an already very strong first two maps, and I think it is a wonderful third map, and I think it puts us on a path for the rest of the game that's hopefully going to be just as strong maps, as long as they can carry through all the drama. You know, I think if they continuously...
That's the thing. Yeah, that's it's like we can't always have like the nicest... You can't always have nice things without fucking some shit attached to it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, we're
talking about the AI shit. All that bullshit.
Yeah, all the AI shit.
In case you guys didn't catch on.
Yeah, the plug in the bundles and the VAs recasting and all that stuff.
Right.
Which, speaking of, regardless of personal feelings about the map design, the color palette, and all that stuff, how do you feel about the story within like the cutscenes, you know, that was presented via the intro with Ravenov returning, and then the outro with Kraft getting eaten by zombies, talking about Richtofen being his adopted son and all that other stuff?
So as for the story that's going on, I'm not the biggest like Dark Ether head like I was with Primis. Like I feel like a lot of people are. Yeah. But I have been learning a decent bit. And I think, okay, this is really weird, but the way I kind of see it is like with this new introduction of Kraft mac and cheese being Ricky's father-in-law, or I mean father-in-law, or like his
adopted father.
Yeah, or adopted father. I'm like saying all the wrong things.
Kraft mac and cheese is my father-in-law. Dude, I'm rich.
Oh no, but I think with the introduction of like kind of it seems like it's making me care a little more about what's going on, which I kind of like I'm kind of locked in with the whole like Sentinel artifact and Terminus, and like now them like because there's a conflict of interest with them wanting to go after Richtofen, but like he's now like it might not be so good to go after him. But I think the way they're doing it is like, yes, I care a little more, but I think it's a little corny. And like Weaver, I don't know. Weaver is a little weird because he's like, bro, you just killed his you killed his wife and kid and you want him dead.
Yeah, that's one thing that as we keep going on, I have a really hard time like thinking about. Like, they want us to be on Weaver's side, but at the same time, Richtofen just got revenge by putting them in jail for him killing his wife and child. How is...
Now you're even.
Yeah.
Not even. Yeah. Not even, like, come on.
Yeah, like, you're halfway even, you know? Like, you still deserve some fuckery, and like you get out and it's all Richtofen this, Richtofen that. I want to kill Richtofen. Buddy. Okay. Like, what world do you think that's fair?
Right. Like, what world do you think you didn't deserve that?
Yeah. But also at the same time, one thing that's never explored, and I tried to dig up as much lore as I could about it but couldn't find an answer. What was Richtofen doing for Samantha and Weaver to do that in the first place? Like, why was he a target of theirs in the first place if he was also the director? You know what I mean? Like,
that part I'm a little dry on. So so I can kind of like see where you're getting at, but like I'm still like kind of looking into like what the reasons for things. So I'm not the biggest like I said, not the biggest Dark Ether head, but I am catching on to a few things.
Yeah, no, me neither. I learn, more every time I do a lore video, but
right.
I have dug into that, and there's no info in Cold War or any of the other zombies games that suggests why Sam and Weaver attacked Eddie in the first place, accidentally killing his family. So what
did Weaver know? Did like Weaver? Oh, cool. That was yeah. Because they thought they were gone, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So they were going after Richtofen, and it begs the question of why were they going after him in the first place? What is he doing?
And that was just never answered. You think we're ever going to answer for that?
I think we're going to lead up to one, because there's a lot of stuff going on the internet right now in the zombies community with Kraft talking about he got the job for with the CIA for MK Ultra, and that leads into the questions of what in the government was Richtofen exposed to, and what was he doing on the side, like after he learned all this information. And there's a lot of people asking about if he had like anything to do with the forming of MK Ultra, or what did he have to do with possibly like Nova 6 stuff going on later on, you know, and like it begs all these other questions of what were these other events like in the campaigns that he could have theoretically been tied to based off of this one bit of dialogue. And it also is like, did Richtofen know Adler? You know, like did any of this other stuff happen? And so
I don't like, and I know you dislike this too, just about how they like
tied it with the campaign.
Shove zombies in the campaign.
But since they're doing it, it also begs the question, is Richtofen associated with Pantheon? Because they were working on a virus that acts like a zombie virus. So it's like, you're opening up more questions than you're giving answers. And, you know, with Kraft dying the way that he did, we won't get those answers from him. And Richtofen is done, sucked into the void wherever Samantha took him, so we ain't gonna get those answers from him either. And, I mean, I know, you know, story-wise, they're talking about the next map being at the dig site, right? So...
Oh, God, the fucking dig site. Okay, right. I had this, and I think I told you about this, like, theory, right? Because now we'll start getting into what we think might actually happen in the next map. I'm thinking, like, we're gonna eventually wind up learning that there's a Primis, or quote-unquote Primis, whatever you want to call them, like, or the Requiem, or whatever you want to call, like, this crew now, Terminus crew or whatever, that there's going to be, and this would be an absolutely insane, I would love if this happened, by the way, that there's going to be a 1.0 version, or I guess a 2.0 version of them that is going to act like Origins did for them, basically. And that would be super interesting, and that would be a way to pay homage to Primis without shoving them into the story, but also giving these characters a little bit more depth. I think that would be amazing.
Okay, so you're talking about like how when we first got Origins, we were introduced to Primis, and everyone thought they were just younger versions of the characters, but we found out they were from an alternate reality. So You're talking about the possibility of, with the next map, instead of having it be this version of the Terminus crew going to that map, we'll almost be introduced to an alternate version of them basically on the same map.
Like I could, yes.
Okay.
And I think what would be insane is like, if we see like statues of them, like, but their other form, like how Origins did with the Primis crew, and like how we saw their Great War attire with their statues, right? Like if we saw something like that, and they're like investigating, like, who are these guys, and it's like, wait, is that us in some sort of way? Or like, I don't know, that would be this is an absolute pipe dream, by the way. This may is probably not.
I agree that sounds cool as hell, but I don't think the people at Treyarch have the capacity, if you will, to think of something. Yeah, the balls to
the
do
nuts
like
to make it that cool.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do. Personally, I think they're gonna take the safe route, the monetary route, and I bet you that they go to the map and there's gonna be Primis and Chaos references all over the place, so everybody's nuts gets wet and they start talking about the game again.
Or if they somehow tie in and they don't do anything else with any other old crew but them, if they somehow put Invictus, that would be amazing. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I agree. There's statues of Victus.
Dude! Oh, that would go so nuts. That would go so crazy.
That would.
And
then insane. Imagine, right? So as they give us more maps, they do that, and then the penultimate map like right before the last one, is just like Treyarch's rendition of that custom map Ve Victis, where it's just where Victis has been in the Dark Aether since they got banished.
Shit. Dude, that map's crazy, by the way. I assume you've played it.
Oh, I've played the shit out of that custom map. Yeah.
But no, that would be insane, because like it already kind of seems like, and they would never admit it, they took a lot of inspiration from Terminus, from Leviathan, with like the Kraken and all that stuff, which is pretty nuts. But I think any mention of Primis or Victis, not Primis, would be insane. And okay, I guess Primis, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about Primis returning? Like, so, just your overall, like...
I have a split opinion on it. One, I'm a fucking sucker for Primis, and I love them.
We all are.
If they came back, as long as they didn't royally fuck it, I would be happy. I'd love to play as those characters again, even though that begs questions with AI and Tom Kane, but we'll get into that in a second.
Right.
The other split part of me feels like Primis would be better off as just operator bundles that you could just play as, versus actually being tied to the story. Like, if you want the characters in for monetary value, put them in bundles, and I guarantee you everybody fucking buys those bundles. Again, that begs the question of AI Tom Kane, or if they just use old lines, like old voice lines from other maps. But story-wise, I think if it's handled well, I think it'd be okay. Because as much as everybody likes to say let their legacy rest, I'm sorry, but the way that they were, they fumbled their story in BO4. I'm tired of everybody trying to pretend like BO4's ending was beautiful and perfect.
Ooh.
Dude, the characters went out, honestly, like a bunch of bitches, dude. They all got poisoned by Nikolai. Like,
so real quick. So, and I actually want to talk about this real quick, because I don't think we've talked about this other than right now. And I think I can see what people are saying with the end of BO4. They gotta, like, it kind of gives that, like, and I don't agree with this. Like, I think this is not the right sort of ending, but I do see where people are coming from, where they're like, the tragic characters that we've dealt with or that we've played as got a tragic ending. And that's like, people can't always have like a nice storybook ending, and I think that's kind of a nice way to put it with like certain characters and certain franchises, and I can definitely see it for them too. But I feel like we almost were promised something that we just didn't get, and I think that's where I 100% agree with you with that you're about to say.
And I mean, so I can see that too. They're tragic characters that got a tragic ending, and while I agree that everything can't always be storybook picture perfect, all those characters can't get their ending that they wanted, one simple tweak to the story that we got, to me, would have made it feel better. And that is, if those characters, instead of being tricked by Nikolai, if he had told them what it would take to stop it, and they all together made the decision.
I think the reason the thing that they wrote in is like and I think wasn't Monty was like kind of saying it too, and it's been a little while since I've been into the BO3 lore, but at the end Monty was like, your mere existence like is just going to cause this cycle to happen.
Right. And so if instead of Nikolai poisoning them all in wine,
I see what you're doing it a different way, but having the same outcome.
So you have the same outcome where Nikolai tells them the only way we can stop all of this from happening is if we no longer exist. And the characters, like, you get this cutscene where, or like even not only just through the cutscene, but as you're playing the Easter egg for Tag der Toten, you have the characters arguing a little bit back and forth about what's the right thing to do, you know,
as opposed to like them all just agreeing on it. I see what you're saying.
And then you have like slowly throughout the course of the Easter egg, they all come to the understanding, maybe minus Ultimus Richthofen because he's selfish and doesn't want to be killed or erased out of existence, but all of the other characters come to this point of mutual agreement that while living in this cycle, all they do is suffer, and all other people do is suffer. So I think those characters at the end, when faced with that choice, they would have made the choice to sacrifice themselves to save the universe rather than be poisoned while they're drinking wine and eating chicken and swapping stories from their past lives. You know what I mean?
And like, and like having them make their own decision as opposed to having it taken from them. Yeah.
Especially because when you think about it, another tragic piece to this puzzle with these characters is Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo were always manipulated into following following a Richtofen. And the essence of free will is something that those characters truly never got.
Never had. Exactly. Yeah. I can for sure.
One final bit of free choice, I think, would have brought the story full circle, because you're breaking the cycle by giving these characters that never had the freedom of choice, and you're giving them the freedom of choice, and they're using this one moment to sacrifice themselves to stop the cycle. It breaks the cycle in more than one way. Whereas when they just follow Nikolai blindly, it's the same thing as when they followed Richtofen, and they're being manipulated into this ending, and it's the same old that they've always had. And I think even if you wanted them to die, if you would have had them choose to do it, there would have been more integrity and more honor in that death with those characters. Like, especially, both Takeos would be on board already. Like, come on, they're all about
right. Yeah, right, exactly.
I'm sure Primis Dempsey would be in the same boat. Primis Richtofen even would probably be in the same boat, because he's the one that knew he had to give the chronorium to Nikolai. And Ultimus, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo might take some convincing, but I think they'd come around. I mean, maybe not Richtofen, but he gets shot in the head anyway. So I think it would have given them a little bit more dignity to go out on. And I think then it would be more insulting to me that they're bringing them back. But because I'm unhappy with the ending they got already, this is a second chance.
Yeah.
And if they blow it, then yeah, I'll still be pissed. But I won't be any more pissed than I already am. Whereas if they nail it, then awesome. It's a better ending for the characters than the one we got before.
And with Primis, potential for them to come back. Also, obviously, excluding the lore itself, we get into the scenario, of course, of just like, who is gonna play them? And like, if they were to wind up doing that, should they even play them? Or should they even bring them back because of this reason, which is a good enough reason to not bring them back? Like, if they're not going to have the original voice actors, it's just going to feel so different. I mean, I can't think about any other voice actor who can voice any of them and it would sound similar. Like Steve Blum or Steve Bloom, he's his own voice actor. Like, that's crazy. Which begs the question, like, if they quit, like, if they're going to bring Primis back, them bringing AI into this, I'm out. No, sorry. Like, if that would go, and it's. I'm so glad you made that video, by the way, about just talking about the AI stuff. That would be totally awful.
It would be, I think that would be worse than fumbling their ending.
Right.
Because like I brought up in that video, the recasting of Alex Mason ruined the character for me. Because you're going to have other actors come in that don't understand the character, they don't understand the mannerisms, they don't understand how the character would think or say something, because, frankly, these voice actors have been playing them for 14 years. You know?
And I think another, to play kind of very lightly playing devil's advocate in some way, there are plenty of pieces of media out there where they replace voice actors and voice actresses, and they're arguably better than the previous voice. For example, I think of Dragon Ball. I don't know to what circumstances led to this character's recast, but Frieza used to be voiced. Who voiced him? Hold on. It was a woman who voiced him in like the original, one of the original English dubs, the Ocean dub. But like, she got recast. I'm not sure to what circumstance, but this voice for Frieza is arguably, I like him a little more. So you kind of get to that whole scenario of like, maybe, you know, maybe we as longtime players of zombies won't like the new voice. There are other people, and a lot of other people, who just have not played zombies, who are just not going to care.
Yeah,
like they're not going to care that a game character got recast. It's just a video game. And I think to some degree, like, sure, it's just a game, but like these circumstances of them not wanting to redo their contract because they don't want to have their voice used without their permission, that should not be a good enough reason to just, or that should make people care at least a little bit. But just realistically, if they're going to replace somebody who sounds like them, they're going to do it. And I think it would be better than AI voicing them, for sure. It gives another person another chance. But I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that, like, hey, we would want
the original voice actors back.
Exactly. Yeah. But with one of those characters, Takio, it's literally 99% just not going to happen. It's either going to be AI or it's going to be a new voice actor. If it's a new voice actor, sure. If they can get it right. But I mean, it's so tough because we want everything to be exactly the same as it was.
Right.
But it's always so tough because it's not going to be that way anymore. But I just hope if they bring it back, then I hope that they can do it in a way that like pays respect to Tom or like the other characters. But if I'm honest, as much as I want them back, I think we'd be better without them.
Yeah, I agree. Now let me ask you one question real quick.
What's up?
So let's say...
No, the answer is no. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's say, okay, they fix this situation with the AI contracts, all right, before they bring in Primis. They can bring in Steve Blum, Fred Tatasciore, Nolan North. Tom Kane can't do it because of his stroke, which is very unfortunate, but it is a sad reality. How would you feel if instead of recasting, if Tom Kane gave his blessing and got paid, not full amount, but he got paid a portion to AI mimic his voice for the lines of Takio? Well,
I mean, I think the biggest problem with AI right now, and like at this point, or with that scenario, that's an interesting scenario you gave me there. With that scenario, like, it is a very like case study scenario, meaning like it's a very unique one, because I believe what the biggest issue is for these voice actors and actresses is like we have to respect their consent with their voices being used when they don't want them to, or not being used when they don't want them to, rather. But I mean, if Tom gave permission, then I'd be much cooler with it.
Yeah.
It just because he is fully giving his consent and support and is being paid for, you know, his
the using of his voice likeness.
Right. Yeah. Which I think is probably a way they might convince him to try to do that, because they already have tons of his voice for AI to learn from and make. But I mean, if that's what he would want, and I'm saying if that's what he would want, not he was bribed into, you know, if that's truly what he would want, then fuck. I mean, I'm cool with that, you know?
Yeah. Because like, the only reason I ask is, you know, have you seen Star Wars?
Oh yeah, of course.
Or the Arby's commercials?
Okay, you lost me. Wait, what?
James Earl Jones, who played Darth Vader, was
Darth
also
Vader,
the voice
yeah.
of the Arby's commercials.
Oh, it's him too? Wait, I never put that together.
Yeah, that's him. He passed away recently, tragically, unfortunately. But he worked out a deal with Disney where they can still use AI to modulate his voice for Darth Vader in future projects. And I believe it was something along the lines of every time they do it, you know, a certain percentage of money has to be funded into his estate for his family. I mean, I'd have to do extra research on it, but I'm pretty sure that was the case.
If he's getting paid for it, if his loved ones are getting, obviously not him, his loved ones are getting paid for it, then that it literally immortalizes him it's all okay. You sprung this on. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is like a very like, this is very nuanced because
it is very nuanced, and that's one of
in
those
one
things.
way.
Oh, go ahead.
Right. No, I was gonna say no. I think I know where you're going with this, but basically, like, it's really nuanced. I'd probably have to sit on it a little more and kind of debate with myself, like how I would wind up feeling about it.
Yeah.
I think overall, we shouldn't want. In most cases, we shouldn't want like AI for things like art or things like voice acting as a way to like get around having to pay for a voice actor.
Yeah.
But if you have a character that has existed and the character in some way or another can't voice them anymore, and they offer consent to do that, then I think it's probably okay. But I think solely looking for something to like going out of your way to not hire somebody because of that, we shouldn't want. And I think, and as an artist like myself, I mentioned that I think in your thing, like I can't get with them cutting corners that way.
Yeah.
But it's a very case by case scenario, and I think that would be a very like an interesting one to be sure. But like, how would they even like, if that were to even happen, what would they say? Like, oh, Tom Kane gave us his blessing and yada yada. But then it's like, okay, well, what about this other shit you're putting in the game? Like that.
Yeah.
Who gave the blessing? Like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall, if Primis comes back, or not even just Primis, but the characters come back in their entirety, there's always going to be something about it that's bad.
Yeah, just like there will always be bits of it that's good. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of back and forth conversation on why it could be good or bad. And I think in this situation, like you said, it's not even just nuanced in the area of AI, but with the characters themselves. Because you have tons of people where they're going to look at it as just this horrible thing. You're ruining our characters. And then there's going to be people like me that weren't happy with the ending that think they deserve a second chance.
Right.
And no matter what, it takes a lot of being open-minded to understand both sides. And I think that's the problem with this community, is the Call of Duty community is a lot of thing, but open-minded is not fucking one of them.
No, for sure. I think when it comes to a scenario like this, I think we're on the right side, or that we should be, at least when it comes to like AI coming back. I think we're on the right side, and I think I'm proud of all of us for that. But I just, once we see those 4 fucking handsome mugs, we're gonna lose it.
Yeah.
No matter what scenario, once we see those 4 characters in any way, shape, or form, Primis, Ultimus, fucking Dicticus, or whatever the fuck they're gonna be called, we're going to lose. Right. We will get rock hard on sight. Not even listening, on sight. The moment they acknowledge them, we're going to see a Mr. Rockwaffles video. We're going to see a Dalek JD video. We're going to see all of that, and everyone's going to be hype. But like,
yeah, I'll tell you what
gotta remember,
we're not going to see though.
What's that?
Fucking Lex's video, because that guy's a piece of shit.
Oh, damn!
Fuck you, Lex.
Yeah, bitch.
But anyway, yeah, I completely agree. You'll see it all over, and the community will boom again, I am sure. Yeah. But I guess that brings me to a bit of a segue, in a way, and that is, do you think that will be in this year of Call of Duty, or do you think that will fall into whatever next year's Call of Duty is?
I've thought a lot about this, and I think what they're going to do, right? And I think it's going to happen like this. I see it. I can predict the future. The moment that 4th map comes out, at the very end, we're going to see them. We're going to see them. And then that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Until this next game comes out.
Just like they come out the portal and they just look at the characters, and then it just goes fucking black. No words. That way they can try to still give themselves some time to figure out the voice acting shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not see that exactly right. We're going to see, just plain as day, we're going to see them. And then when the next game comes, we're going to actually hear them.
Okay.
That sounded so stupid. But I think the majority of them, if they come back, we're gonna see them in the next game, not this one.
Okay, so another question. We might get Primis back, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio.
Yep.
Who's gonna be the 4th member, you think? Because
it's just gonna be Richtofen. It's just gonna be it's going to be this Dark Ether Richtofen. And I think what people are coming up with theories, but like these aren't like, these could be just total baloney, but like, Primis, or this director Richtofen, he's trying to find the rest of them, and he's going to be the fourth character, the fourth slot for Butticus.
Yeah, you know what would be interesting is if they end with them coming out of a portal of some sorts, and then the next game starts with Richtofen getting sucked into the Dark Aether, and then in order to escape is where he finds the others.
Sam's still in there, right? Samantha's still in there?
Yeah, Samantha's still in there, and I'm pretty sure she pulled Richtofen in there, but I think they have an opportunity here.
Oh, that's right. Duh. Yeah.
So they're giving us the story of the Terminus crew now, and what they can have is they can have it end with Richtofen and Primis returning, but that would immediately lead to a confrontation. If Terminus crew and Richtofen and Primis are in the same place, confrontation. Unless the information that the characters learn about Richtofen as they go changes their mind from wanting to kill him on the spot, there would be a confrontation. So if they're going the confrontation route, they should learn from The Last of Us 2. Right. And they should make this game the buildup of the Terminus crew. The next game, show where Eddie went and give us the buildup of Eddie and forming his relationship with Dark Aether Primis. And then the last, like the third game from now, whenever the next iteration of zombies would come out, is when they can do whatever form of confrontation they want to do. It would give better time to build story and develop and flush out the characters a little bit better around the edges. I know they won't. I know they're not going to do that, but it would be my hope that they would do something along those lines just to kind of get us into it a little more. You know what I mean?
Right. By the way, this is theory time. This is very much theory time.
We don't work at Treyarch. If we worked at Treyarch, this wouldn't have never happened.
This is right. Yeah. Right. No, this is very much like, guys, don't expect this.
Yeah, no, don't expect this at all. This ain't gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen is they're gonna bring Primis back, and then they're all gonna be friends. Like, honestly, probably they're gonna find a way to tie it in with Modern Warfare Zombies, where Ava Jansen goes back in time and pulls Primis out so she can help her mommies. You know, like
right. And then they're gonna have like Captain America come in, like,
exactly,
and then have him stay on your left, and then they're gonna come through the Dark Ether portal.
He's not gonna be voiced by Chris Evans, though.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be voiced by Johnny Storm. He's gonna be voiced by the character that he plays.
But it's gonna be Johnny Storm from Deadpool and Wolverine from that
right
scene.
That very specific one. Yeah, not from the Fantastic Four. No, but fucking, I think what might also happen is, like, at the end of this game's life cycle, I feel like, because have we been into, besides like D Machine, what have we been into the Dark Ether after that? Or like has the Terminus crew, have they been in the Dark Ether?
No.
Okay.
No, they have not.
So I'm thinking they're gonna probably wind up experiencing the Dark Ether at some point, like within this, because they're looking for Richtofen, and Richtofen's presumably in there, right?
Yeah. Ooh, what if they get sucked into the Dark Aether? Then they have to work with Richtofen and Primis to get out.
To some, and I think that's where the next game might start, like where at the last we're gonna go into the Dark Ether. That might be the last map, and maybe we're helping them with the plan, because this will be Richtofen's new grand scheme.
Right.
And right. And they'll be like, I don't know. Okay. Wow. What might happen is, like, the Terminus crew is going to be like Victus, in the sense where they have to listen to Richtofen to get to for his grand plan of getting the Primis crew out, or whatever the fuck. Even though they don't fucking exist. However, they're gonna make that make sense. But I don't know. Anyways, these theories are fucking, yeah.
Yeah. It's
not gonna happen.
Idea.
Oh boy.
Idea. All right. Last of the super awesome,
all right.
creative theory corner. The whole time,
everyone, it was all a dream.
No. We're not doing the Walking Dead theory. The Sam robot that is talking to us, the AI that's helping the characters, isn't an AI, and it's not Sam either. These characters are being manipulated by the Shadow Man.
Oh, bring Shadow Man back. Oh,
They're already
boy.
bringing Shadow Man back. He was in
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, in the Modern Warfare 3 Zombies last cutscene, Ava is in Liberty Falls trying to research what happened in Liberty Falls. And when she passes by her mirror, the Shadow Man silhouette is in it. And then she gets closer to the mirror and he like calls to her and pulls her into the Dark Aether. And then don't forget in
What?
yeah, and in the Liberty Falls Easter egg, you have that one dude, fucking Baldy McBalderson, that's trapped in the Dark Aether. He's like the whole time whispering to somebody else. Like, and even Blanchard is like, who are you talking to? Who are you whispering to? You know, because he's like,
Oh, you're talking about, yeah.
And
You don't think he's just talking to Richtofen?
no. That dude is definitely talking to somebody else, and I guarantee you it's the fucking Shadow Man. They wouldn't have teased him at the end of the Modern Warfare 3 cutscenes for no reason. And not only that, but like I think it's gonna be the Shadow Man manipulating them into opening a door to the Dark Aether for him to stroll out. I think that's where they'll bring in Ava, because in the Dark Aether, you know, time is weird. You could time travel and all that shit, kind of. I bet you Ava comes back in time to make sure that, you know, because her mom, it was Samantha's eggs with Ravenov's sperm put in Gray's body. And that is how Ava was born, and Ava got sucked into the Dark Aether, so I'm sure she's going to come back to try to stop her parents from dying. And
Richtofen is the Shadow Man.
no, Richtofen's not the Shadow Man. I think Richtofen, dude, I think
kidding.
Richtofen's there. I think Richtofen's there, Kev, but he's not the Shadow Man. That'd be so whack. But
So
yeah,
we just figured out the BO7 story,
yep.
just like that.
But that's if we get to the Black Ops 7 story, because amongst all this AI bullshit, COD's kind of in the tank right now. It's kind of going in the pooper.
I don't think so. I'm just kidding.
I've been seeing
No, because nobody. Okay, yes, I fully agree. It's like nobody is like. First off, I don't play Warzone like that, but like I'm pretty sure like the numbers are dropping like crazy.
Yeah, I think people are going back to Fortnite.
Yeah, when they're with their like whole OG shit and the OG map and all that stuff for sure.
Yeah, I said Call of Duty's bringing back Primis. We got to bring back OG Fortnite.
God, we gotta bring Primis in Fortnite.
Oh God.
But I think for the first time in I think maybe for the first time ever, that doesn't apply to zombies, where like Call of Duty is dying. I think zombies is the strongest thing in Call of Duty right now, and I think imagine if this game didn't have zombies.
Yeah,
just imagine
if Black Ops 6 didn't launch with zombies in it, I think it would be done. And honestly, I think if they would have launched with one zombies map, and if they would have not had a second map out by now, I think it would have been done. Because like remember, or actually you wouldn't remember because you didn't play Cold War when it was coming out. They put out they put out D-Machine, and it took until February to get another map. It took till February to get Firebase Z, which is fucking forever in internet time. You know, that might as well be a year.
Oh yeah, because it came out in October.
Yeah,
4 months.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. So
and I think it might also be like right now it's like we're past like the main content, that we're past the launch period already. So I'm thinking people might be looking at the game dying, and it may be because of that, at least for now. So we'll kind of see what happens in like I guess when are we getting updates? I mean,
yeah, and like honestly, you know, Call of Duty's so large, it's not gonna die, right? The only way Call of Duty dies is if Activision decides to stop making it, which they won't, because it's a cash cow. No matter what, you have loyal fans that will buy it almost every year, whether it be even just to play the campaign. You know, like through the 20 teens, I didn't play zombies as much, but I still played every campaign that came out. You know, I still bought every Call of Duty that came out. I've purchased every single one since 2008. I have bought and played every single. Vanguard, I waited a while. You know, I waited till it was on sale for like, I think I bought it for like $6. But every game I have played the campaign for, and you will have people like that where they will still buy it to play multiplayer, because honestly, they could give less of a fuck about the AI and all the other bullshit. They just want to hop on COD and play. But you are going to have diehard fans of these other modes stop playing. Like, you have a ton of guys out there that are streamers that only stream Warzone. You know, they're
Right.
Warzone only channels. And if Warzone continues to be this mess full of hackers and cheaters where people can't get kills and they're getting killed, they're gonna stop playing your game, because no matter what they do, they're getting fucked. And then they can't post their, oh, here's a meta video, you know, that's gonna get 1 million views. They can't.
That's the meta. That's the meta, to cheat, pretty much.
Exactly. And even then, if you cheat, if you're not really good at it, you run the risk of getting banned. And
Right.
like, why would you want to get banned?
Right. It's like a lose-lose.
Yeah, if over the last 3 years you've spent $400 on skins and bundles, you don't want to lose that shit for Warzone, you know, especially now that everything carries over every year for Warzone. You know, that's a lot of stuff to lose.
Sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, and it's a lose-lose, and I think that's one of the biggest things that's causing that side of the community to die. And then you have all these people in multiplayer that just, they aren't having fun because they don't like the way that Call of Duty is doing things now, and that's bad for the game too. But like you said, Zombies fans are eating right now, but how long is it until they realize, oh, maybe we spent too much time on Zombies, we need to put that effort back into Warzone, because Warzone's where's the money is at. So
you think it's going to be like, we're going to have another I don't think we'll have another sort of like Vanguard scenario, but like, you think it might be to the point where it's like Zombies is going to have another dip again? Because it seems like I think we've recovered, and we're kind of we're where we were, like with positive hype, not with like Vanguard where it went way down to the negatives, right?
Yeah.
But I think since BO6, we've recovered a good amount.
I think we regained our footing. It's not quite sturdy and steady yet, but we're getting up. But the thing is that at the end of the day, Activision cares about money. And if Zombies brings in money, great. But if Warzone brings in more money than Zombies, from a business standpoint, what do you think they care about more?
Zombies.
Yeah. So I think if they can't get the cheater situation under control, if they can't intervene, and people keep dropping in the game mode starts to die, either they're gonna launch Warzone 3.0 and everyone's gonna lose their shit again, or they're just gonna have to pull funding and development time away from Zombies to make sure that Warzone gets fixed, because they can't have multiplayer lose support, because that's where people are playing, and they can't, you know, that they won't drop Warzone, especially with how much money it makes, because the amount of kids out there that are playing Warzone with their friends and they want to be like their favorite streamer, so they have to buy this operator bundle in order to get the meta weapon. It's a lot. Versus the people that play Zombies, you can't just buy a bundle and have a meta weapon for Zombies. You have to have skill in Zombies. So I think if Warzone keeps getting bad, we'll see a dip again, and it'll be unfortunate. They did it to Black Ops 4 after the hype of Black Ops 3, following Zombies Chronicles, which was the highest selling DLC ever.
Yep.
Which showed the popularity that Zombies had. After the season of Black Ops 3, which had pulled such high numbers for Zombies, they still cut funding, not once, but they cut it twice for Black Ops 4 to build Blackout, and then to start helping production on Modern Warfare 2019.
I think they really like, they're obviously as a business, they have their own like trump cards they're holding.
Yeah.
To see how long they can drag out what's going on. So I think in terms of Warzone, and granted, I haven't played Warzone since Verdansk in Modern Warfare 2019. I played it a tiny bit in Modern Warfare 2, just a tiny bit, maybe a couple games here and there. But I think what they're going to wind up doing is like, everyone loves Verdansk, excuse me. That was the first map. Have you ever played Warzone?
Yeah, no, I played. Okay. I played it when it first came out, and in fact, I believe they confirmed that there's going to be Verdansk coming back already.
Right. So I think they literally are just stretching out what the player base can like tolerate until they start being like, hey, we're not playing this game anymore, and then boom, Verdansk. And I think that's gonna come back soon. Like, that's going to come by way faster than they're thinking. And I think that might be why they're kind of it seems like they might be in a little bit of a panic mode with that. And with Zombies, now that it seems like they're kind of doing well, they can hold off on a Zombies Chronicles 2, because they know that is going to literally bring in the cash.
Yeah, and that's fair, but I hope they're able to fix Warzone for the Warzone players, because I've played Warzone a bit in every game, and sometimes I hate it, but sometimes I honestly have a lot of fun with my buddies when we play.
With friends, yeah.
Especially when we hop on to play and just joke around and we don't take it seriously. That's when we have the most fun, and ironically, that's when we do the best. Those times, I think Warzone would be good to have it fixed, but I don't know, honestly. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I mean, I'm not some super business savvy guy, and I don't pay attention to the statistics of the other modes, but I know people aren't happy, and if you keep up with people being unhappy, eventually they go somewhere else.
Right.
You see that with TV shows, movies, restaurants, friendships. When people are unhappy, they find something else. And, Activision used to be a company where when you were buying one of their games, you knew it would have support, and you knew that you were going to get your money's worth. Whereas now Activision has created a reputation of not caring about their fans and doing whatever they can to make a buck, cutting corners, firing people, replacing with AI, putting out unfinished games, and not listening to fan feedback, and allowing cheaters to run the servers, and doing all of these crazy collaborations with other companies so that people buy their bundles in order to, attract the Fortnite crowd. And I think even though, some people like that type of stuff, at the end of the day, Fortnite treats their fans better than Activision treats their fans. You know what I mean?
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah. And that's what makes it difficult, especially with Call of Duty being on a yearly cycle. And
not just being and I think with Warzone, that's the thing that they're trying their best with. I guess Warzone now, I'm starting to agree with the people who are saying these things need to be detached from one another. Warzone needs to go its own way, and I think Zombies needs to go its own way.
Yeah, because
with what it's already built up. This long.
Right. Honestly, I think Warzone would absolutely be better off if it was just a spin-off game. Call of Duty Warzone, and literally have it be its own application, have it be its own entity. It's not connected to campaign, it's not connected to zombies. Then you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah, right.
You could just have it be what it is. It's a giant war zone. Get your favorite character bundles and do whatever the fuck you play in it. Kill each other. It's Call of Duty mechanics in this big old war zone. And then I absolutely agree. It should just be Call of Duty Zombies, and it should be its own application, and have a fucking team dedicated to just that, where it's zombies mechanics, and they can follow one coherent storyline that doesn't need to bounce around in timelines, because one year your game is set in 1960 and the next year your game is set in 2024. So you don't need to have all these mechanics. If they make another, if they do a Call of Duty campaign one year, right, where you're getting the game, the multiplayer, and some kind of small extra bonus mode, and it's the campaign and it's in 2024, you don't have to follow that with the zombies or the Warzone. You don't have to. And they can all have their similar Call of Duty mechanics, but they bring back boost jumping, right? They're talking about next year making it a sequel to Black Ops 2, and they're talking about bringing back the boosting and stuff. If they do that, that means it's going to be in zombies, right? At least in some form. Just like in Black Ops 3, it was there in some aspects of the map.
Yeah, I think there's a way to. I think at least by now they're well aware that they shouldn't do that unless it's like Black Ops 3, and I think they've probably learned they lose a lot of players when they fucking try to integrate so much of multiplayer into zombies, with Vanguard. If that wasn't a big red flag or eye opener for them, then I really don't know what the fuck was.
Yeah, I hope so. I have a lot of hope, but I also have doubts, just because Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Activision, they've burned us before, especially being fans.
Oh, for sure.
And that's part of the reason why I want to open my channel up a little bit, is I love doing zombies content, and I love meeting more people that are as into zombies as I am. But what happens if I base my entire channel and identity around being a COD Zombies YouTuber, and then I get rug pulled and the fucking game is just garbage, and nobody, like, look at how much of a hit the zombie community and zombie YouTubers and content creators took during Vanguard. They weren't getting as many views. They weren't getting people checking out their stuff. I mean, even if you go look at Rolf Waffle's channel now, he's slowly starting to diversify into other content. Because he knows this ain't gonna last forever, so he's making the most out of it right now, which is the right move, if you ask me, because maintaining a relationship with zombies will always be important to me. I'll still play them as they come out, especially now that I have groups of friends to play them with, but I also have a lot of other interests, and they don't all revolve around this one thing, and I'd like to start sharing those interests a little more, just in general, I think. But I'm still going to focus.
I'm with you, dude. No. I was just basically saying I'm with you. Like I get that. I'm gonna I'll post some zombies, and I'll post like my own like retrospective too sometimes. But I'll definitely post more other stuff, kind of how I used to post in the past few years. Yeah, me too. And I mean, I feel like when people come to the channel and they subscribe, a lot of the times the best comes out of when they're subscribing for you and not just the one topic you cover. Right. Yeah. That's always good. That's always great. And like, because I've watched your other videos that aren't Call of Duty related, dude, and like they are equally as funny, as entertaining as your ones that you make now. Thank you. So it's, I think, especially like if the rest of the season goes good, great, but if they don't handle this AI thing well, then what's the point? Especially going into next year's Call of Duty, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be, a sequel to Black Ops 2. Maybe it's a reboot or a redo. I don't know. But I think if they don't fix the AI stuff by then, it's just going to get worse. And the worse it gets, the less I'm going to be able to stand by the game. I'm with you. But yeah, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they fix the AI situation, and hopefully the rest of the season is fantastic. I mean, I'm still looking forward to the next map, I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes and how it connects, and if they introduce Primis or Victus or anybody else, I'm curious to see how that goes. And I'm curious about the next game, because if it is a sequel to Black Ops 2, I'd be curious even more about zombies, and I would honestly be curious about the campaign, because it would have to confirm whether or not Alex Mason is truly dead, and that's been one of the biggest marketing points of BO6 was he's dead, or is he? And it's like, so I would like to find out those answers, so I wouldn't be opposed to next year's Call of Duty being, a continuation of Black Ops 2. Either way, I'll probably still buy it and play it. Play it on Game Pass. That's what I'll be doing. Yeah, play it for free. But yeah, man. I mean, ultimately, I'm still very happy with how Black Ops 6 is going in the content and the map launch of Citadelle and everything. I feel good. I feel confident as of now. So yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy it while we're on the up. I'm just enjoying it. Yeah, just take the ride. Awesome. Well, I think that about covers all the topics we wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys all enjoyed the second episode of the Killer Cast with my lovely guest, Clam Rally. If there's anything else you want to say. I'm glad I made it in before you hit 1K. I'm glad I was pre-OG. Yeah, pre-OG. Yeah, me too. Hopefully we hit it soon. Oh, for sure. I think you're going to get that real soon. Oh, I hope so, buddy. I fucking hope so, but we will see. All right. Well, thank you for coming on and being the second guest. Yeah, even though thanks for having me. Last time it didn't work out that well. Yeah, dude, by the way, this is a re-recording of our podcast. That was last time when we recorded. It was like 3 hours long. Yeah, 3 hours and some change, and then my OBS deleted it, which was very unfortunate. But hey, here we are. We got this one. We got it in the bag, and yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you. All right, my boy. I'll see you on the next one. See ya.
Okay, testing my audio. And then, Clam, if you'd like to say something so I can make sure they sound good together.
Something so you can make sure they sound good together.
Oh, hell yeah.